Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So as you might be able to guess from the title, thumbnail, combo, we are going to be pulling some shards today. And we are not pulling without a purpose, as always. We are executing my plan that I laid out in my free-to-play review of the Afterparty Path, and then we're going to pull 10 sacreds. If you're curious on my progress thus far, I've made it all the way to the energy. I plan to pick up the gems, and then I'll work my way down to get the keys, and then start grinding out the souls with the remainder of time being champion training. And so today's pull session is to help us facilitate that goal by knocking 10 sacreds worth of points, 45,000 to be exact, off of the table. Popping over to the portal, we can take a look at the overall shard count. My account at the moment, 659 on the ancients, 250 on the voids, 34 on the primals, and 70 on the sacreds, which of course we'll be dipping into today. As I also discussed in my free-to-play review, my plan was to pull on this day, Sunday at the time of this recording, for Prince Kymar, because overall I happen to have a lot of the champions that were being offered in the Progressive Chance events, and he was the only one that stood out as being on my primary wish list, meaning like my top 10 non-void legendary. Specifically, if you care, he is number 7, so we'll take it if we can get him. And on this day in particular, I happen to have all 4 of the other champions. So just by happenstance, with the offerings from all of these different events over the course of the 4 days, this was the most enticing one. Even though realistically, there's only a 7% chance, even if we do get a legendary, that it will be the one with the boosted rates here. So the odds are very, very low, i.e. 93% chance that if we get a legendary, it's anyone but Kymar. So odds are against us, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. Now, in terms of Mercy, let me pop up my Mercy tracker on the screen here, which you can find in the description box down below if you'd like a link to this for a copy for yourself. But we are 7 sacreds in, and therefore we are 5 away from Mercy. We're going to pull 10 sacreds today. So worst case, we don't get a legendary. Obviously, this is not a 2x. There's no boosted rate, so we're going with the base rate of the 1 in 16 chance. And so 10 pulls will put us into Mercy, and worst case, put us 5 into Mercy, which is not a bad spot to be in case there's a POGO. Or, of course, we just happen to get lucky with the 1 in 16 chance, and we happen to get a legendary, which resets my Mercy. And as tradition around here, we will skip the wish list because we're going to focus all of our RNG luck on trying to manifest a Prince Kymar, if indeed we happen to get a legendary at all. So without further ado, let's dive right into the pulls. 10 sacreds, starting off with presumably an epic. That is what the odds would suggest. Never mind, we got a legendary and it's Prince Kymar. Okay, well, the odds were with us today. That is absolutely not what I expected to happen, but I will most definitely accept this gracious honor. Okay, well, we did get Prince Kymar. We got super lucky there. Obviously, we're not even in Mercy yet, and it's reset now, which I guess is good or bad. I guess, well, 9 sacreds, it'll put us basically back where we were. So indifferent on that. But hey, we got lucky. We actually hit the 10x, the 7% chance procced. And I mean, in fairness, there's been plenty of other instances of Progressive Chance events where I have missed champions. So you're gonna hit it eventually, to be fair. But we did get lucky in this regard, so I will definitely take this. But Kymar, A1 or AoE on the A1 can place a poison if he crits. Usually people don't build him with crit rate, but some people have. But A2, one of his most famous abilities, really kind of old school. You don't see it as much nowadays, but it is a full buff strip that can place asleep, good for control and getting rid of annoying buffs. But in the stone skin meta, it's just kind of fallen off by the wayside. But of course, his primary use case is having the Seal of Magic ability, which is still the only ability in the game that fully resets the cooldown of your ally skills. Granted, it is on a 6-turn cooldown, which arguably is appropriate because it's a very, very powerful skill. But yeah, Prince Kymar, welcome to the team. Like I said, he's number 7 on my primary wish list, so he's not like the top 5 or anything, but there are a couple of areas where he could be useful. Curse City comes to mind, Arena, obviously, and perhaps I might be able to build a Siffy Irresistible Sleep Sand Devil comp, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see if we can pull that off. And then, of course, the Aura, Speed, and Arena battles. He's still useful in some Arena contexts. Obviously, you can build him in Pinpoint and Feral, so you can dodge the polymorph that is definitely a magnet for, or that he's definitely a magnet for on the A2. But yeah, stay tuned for more content potentially surrounding Prince Kymar. But other than that, we still have 9 pulls to go, so let's keep it going. There's no real point. I mean, I guess I should pick okay, back-to-back legendary. That's crazy. We got Truoth, who is a lot less enticing. I think he is a pretty like decent healer. He has a cool passive where like the more damage he takes, the more HP he loses, the more he resets the cooldown of this, which is like a HP balance, ally protection ability. And then he heals himself on the A1, and then perfect veil on everyone. So he's kind of like a mega healer, but nothing really that amazing. I think this is a duplicate for me. So this is a faction guardian for the Dark Elves. So for those of you who didn't know, you actually cannot get the same champion back to back from any type of shard. That's just not allowed. You're always going to get someone else, even though that's usually not the case, because you typically don't get back to back legendaries, but we'll definitely take it. So on the second chance, there was no way that that could have been another Prince Chimer. I definitely don't need two. And in this case, I will change it out because I'm going to put in Mashald, I think, just because he's Undead Hordes, and if I can get 10 out of 10, or get closer to 10 out of 10 for Undead Hordes, that'd be good for speed for my Siphi and Rotos and all other people like that. So we're going to put Mashald in and see if we can get a third. Highly unlikely, but yeah, maybe there is a secret 2x going on that I was just blissfully unaware of. There we go. Back to normal with an epic Skull Crusher, infamously known for the AoE counterattack, the only epic in the game who has that. Granted, it's not on himself. He is a good staple for like your starter Demon Lord clan boss teams in that regard. Mausoleum Mage, good like mid-game, early game arena speed lead champion here with 23% in arena battles, and he's kind of like a mini arbiter with the turn meter fill 50%. With the big version of increased attack, and he also has a decent heal / revive depending upon the situation. Not the best on auto sometimes, because he might just heal and not be able to revive people, but it can be useful nonetheless. Next up, we have Anax, one of my favorite epics in the game, even though I don't really use him as much, unfortunately, but really cool. Decrease accuracy, poisons, lots of poisons here, 3-turn duration on a 3-turn cooldown. Really good for Baumel. I did showcase him in my Baumel Raid Starter Pack episode, and then he's just a really good like Demon Lord clan boss. He's like on par with some of the best legendaries in terms of a DPS for block damage and killable teams, but decrease defense here, weaken there. So he's your decrease defense and weaken champion who can also provide poisons and whatnot. 5 more sacreds to go, and I do hope that we get 5 more epics, because we've already gotten a damn good amount of good luck thus far. Bergoth, the Malformed, he's like a mini version of Vogoth in terms of the healing passive. It's just worse than Vogoth, so there's really no point to use him as long as you have a Vogoth. Next up, we have Eothar. Okay, pretty decent, like early mid-game, like Demon Lord clan boss type champion. He's got a quad poison here, a quad hitter with poisons on a 3-turn cooldown. So he's really good for like early game, mid-game, Demon Lord clan boss, your first team as a DPS, just stacking poisons. You build him for survivability, keep your team alive, and then just stack up as many poisons as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. He definitely falls off as the game starts to progress. 3 more sacreds to go. Let's see what we can get here. Another epic Steel Skull. Pretty decent support. He's definitely fallen by the wayside because he doesn't do all that much. He has a little bit of a heal here, single target. He has a AoE heal here with increased defense. But if you run him with the Faultless Defense Blessing, he can be useful in Centranos for hard mode fire or just any Fire Knight stages. 2 sacreds remaining, and let's see what we can do here, or we can get here to wrap things up. We have Bovos Sharphorn, who is a pretty bad champion if I remember correctly. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage, decreased crit rate, decreased crit damage, some of the weakest debuffs in the game, so not much to say about him. And then the final sacred for the day, hopefully another epic, Lich, one of the Rosin epics, and he doesn't really do all that much, but he does have a full turn meter depletion here with decreased speed on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you really need him for some niche situation, he can be your turn meter depletion champion. But yeah, that is gonna do it there. So I cannot complain at all whatsoever. About maybe once, maybe twice a year maximum, I do happen to hit one of these progressive chance events. I think last year definitely got the Siphi from one of these for Void Shards, and in this case we get the Prince Chimer. I think last year I also got Battle Khazar from a progressive chance. So we'll definitely take it every once in a while. Most of the time, like we said, 90-something% of the time, it's not going to happen. But when it does happen, we take those, and that is absolutely fantastic. So Prince Chimer, the first full reset champion on my account, so I can definitely test him out in certain areas. And before that, I was just using Renegade like everyone else. So this is a decent upgrade so that I can try and re-optimize some of my team. So we'll kind of see what that can do. But yeah, let's go into the path here. Much more points. We're going to claim the gems for starters, and then we're going to start to work our way down the path here towards the keys. And ideally, I didn't really do the math necessarily, but ideally this gets us basically all the way down and through the 4-star soul, and then I can just kind of put my eyes on the target and start grinding away at the 35k for the final soul, which is the 5-star split soul. So that is the intention of offsetting the champion training with the sacred. So there we go. So this is basically where I intended to finish with this path. We do have both of these keys, and then we're at 15k, 20,000 more points to go, a day and a half to go. But yeah, this is the next goal. We just spend the next 2 days grinding away at champion training to get to 35,000 points. We claim the 5-star soul, and then we just play the long game with this one, as I talked about in the free-to-play review. But I'm going to buy the 3-star from the soul merchant over time, the 1-star, the 2-star, the 3-star, however long it takes, just because I'd rather spend the time than waste a bunch of shards, not waste, but use a bunch of shards just to secure the 5-star soul right this second. I don't need it right this second. It would be beneficial to have it, but if it takes 1 or 2 months, it's not the end of the world, at least from my perspective. So one last thing to do is add in our new faction guardian for the Dark Elves, and yep, Truoth, there we go. Not used on my account, I should note, but it is nonetheless a duplicate, so we'll definitely take that. And now we get some extra accuracy and resistance for Dark Elves, and I'm honestly not sure. Mithrala comes to mind, so that's good for her. Both of those stats are good for her, but who else does it help? Lydia, I guess that's basically it. Everyone else I don't really use all that much in terms of the legendaries here. Doesn't really matter on Foley, but I do use him a little bit in the arena. I guess it helps Rule the Huntmaster as well. He's kind of in like a high-ish res, high accuracy build for like Faction Wars, so makes his build a little bit easier. But yeah, I think Lydia, good stats for her, and Mithrala, great stats for her, so we'll take that. More effective, 60 more effective resistance on the Mithrala build. And in fact, why don't we take a gander, see where she's at the moment, because that honestly does really matter in terms of her overall stats. So 750 and 300. So yeah, she is now confirmed over 1,000 effective resistance, 1,050 to be precise. So that is pretty substantial. We'll take it. But I think it goes without saying that the crown jewel for today's session is, of course, the Prince Kymar. So super happy about this one. Once again, being very, very fortunate from this regard. Not to mention the fact that we got 2 back-to-back legendaries with the base rates, which is kind of insane. But hey, we'll take it, and we'll take it, and we'll take it graciously. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's poll session. Let me know in the comment section down below what your plan was relative to these progressive chants, relative to the Afterparty Path. Were you going to pull some shards? Are you skipping it? Are you going for some other alternative way to get the soul? Let me know what you got from your summons, if you got anything good, and hopefully your luck was at least as good as mine. As always, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content overall on the channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.